Ellen doesn't like that seat.
Call this regular meeting of the Park Board to order. Today is October 2nd, 2024. And pursuant to the open meeting laws, I have it right here. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Roll call.
Victor Farias.
Amber Burns.
BJ McDonald.
So absent is Helen Rigo and Nick
Cecilio.
Cecilio. We do not have any citizen input.
Okay.
Accept the minutes.
Yeah, can I get a motion to accept the minutes from the September 4th, 2024 regular Park Board meeting?
I make a motion to accept.
We're gonna need you to
Chime
second
in.
those,
Oh,
Victor.
oh, yeah. I second it. Oh, boy, I forgot how to do.
Motion made by Commissioner Burns to accept the minutes from last month's meeting, seconded by Commissioner Farias. No one opposed.
Oh, no.
New business. Item A is the Mass in Motion Storybook Trail signs by the rail trail. So basically, I don't know if we misunderstood collectively, if everybody else was under the same impression, but Nancy brought this to our attention. The pictures of this storybook trail signs, they're just like kind of wire signs that look like political signs. So Nancy's guys, they've got issues cutting the grass and stuff. They've got to take them out and can't be taking them out, putting them back in, taking them out. They're not gonna last.
I'll put the story back in the right order.
So, yeah. So there's, the story's out of order. I was under the impression that it was gonna look more like the photo with
Yeah,
like a
that's-
wooden post,
Yeah, that's what I thought
kind
too.
of, like you would see on different, in different places, but they're not as of now. So Nancy was, reaching out to, is it Aaliyah?
Yes.
And to try to see if maybe Durfee or Diamond woodshop students could help them create something that we can put in the ground and make a little bit more permanent, because the signs that they have now,
Yeah,
that
it's
they're not gonna work.
They won't last. And I mean,
And all the kids are
the,
gonna be
what had
confused.
happened was she said, my signs were fine, and then someone took them out and put them on the bench. So I'm like, that sounds like what my guys do when they find signs. So when I asked them, that's exactly what happened. And that's why I called her. So I
Yeah.
said, I think we were all under this misconception that they were gonna be like some of the things that you showed us in the packet.
Yeah, because they definitely didn't show us.
No.
Didn't, yeah, cause I think we all would've, I've been chasing our yard signs for the last 6 months, like, they don't stay in the ground, they're not.
So I made that suggestion. She said she's gonna look into it. Whether it be, I said sometimes Home Depot donates supplies if you tell them what you're doing, and then
Yeah.
maybe if Home Depot donated the supplies and Diamond or Wood Shop or whatever put it together, she could almost use the signs that she has if they were laminated
And
enough
just kinda
to
stick
put on
them
that podium type thing. So she said she was gonna look into it and get back to me, but in the meantime, the storybook signs are not there.
If
So-
you guys hear, because it is through the mayor's office and stuff, so if it comes up, that's the issue.
That was a
Um,
Mass in Motions grant, I believe, or that was their department, so.
Okay. I can always reach out to her too, because I had Durfee put stuff together for the block party, and it was like a project for the students, so I could always ask my contact over there too for her to see if that's something they would do. And they did it for free, so I don't know.
Right, I think that's,
Then you just would have to have someone come dig the holes and put
Yeah.
them in,
Right.
so.
Okay,
I don't think there's really any action, just maybe
Yeah.
a motion to place on file.
I make a motion to accept and place on file.
Second it.
Motion made by Commissioner Burns, seconded by Commissioner Farias. All in favor?
Aye.
The next one is a request for the use of Lafayette Park and Mason Street by the Altar of Grace Church on October 26th for their revival, and it goes from noon until 7:30. This is an annual event.
they have had it before, yes.
I make a motion to approve.
Second it.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Burns, second by Commissioner Farias. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
All necessary documents and
Yeah.
paperwork.
Um, Item C is a request from the diocese for the use of Kennedy Park Drive, South Main Street area for their annual candlelight vigil.
I make a motion to approve.
Second motion.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Burns, second by Commissioner Farias. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item D is the PAL pickleball program, and league updates and rosters. So we didn't hear back from them. We had tabled this last month to see if he could get us some rosters. There's some stuff in here, but I think at this point, and after conversation that I had with Mr. Crossan this late in the year, the nets are coming down at the end of the month. And then they'll be on their own to put up their own nets and play. I felt like we should, again, kind of punt until the spring. If he wants to get his ducks in a row and put together a league and submit rosters and all of that, he can. I did advise him that, you know, these initial rosters he sent over, there's a lot of out-of-town people that are submitted on here. So the board's gonna have to make a determination as far as, is there a threshold on how many people should be from Fall River if we're giving out permits? I think these are all things to consider for when he comes back in the spring. But as of now, I spoke with him after last month's meeting and just said, look, there's only another month. We're not gonna permit it out at the end of the season here, but if you wanna get it in, and I advised him of, you know, the residency thing that we've had with other leagues and people.
So, I feel like, I agree with you, I feel like we should do that, but I also think at some point we should come up with a percentage and be like, your team has to be this percent of Fall River residents and just call it a day. I don't know if that's gonna like stop people or make people like make up after, I don't wanna even go down that road, but I do think we should give them a percentage, cause if we ask for rosters, they give us rosters and then we're like, oh wait, this isn't good enough, and it's like,
I just,
Yeah.
I agree, but I also don't wanna stop people from using these brand new courts.
I think-
So,
I
like,
think the
I think
original-
that's the
Yeah.
balancing act.
I think
that-
where the board was when they requested rosters would be maybe not so much as denying it unless it was, you know, more than a 50% type thing, but also limiting the number of days.
yeah.
Right, I think that's
So I
fair.
think that's why the board originally never put a number to it. Because like you said, are we gonna be getting correct information? Once they know the number, they'll count and go, look, we're at
You're right.
40%, we need to
Yeah.
be at 60%.
You don't live in Somerset, you live on,
Right.
and we're
Yeah,
not
I'm gonna put
checking
my,
that, so
I'm gonna
it's-
put my mom's address, I'm gonna put, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
whatever, but
I think
I
that
think we
that's-
just had to be, I think what the board did that was, we had to be fair, because it was a situation where if you were a majority of out of town, we weren't gonna give you 5 nights a week. We
Maybe give
might
them
give
one.
you one,
Right.
because you do have players on your team or on your rosters that are from Fall River, but I think that's mainly why they didn't put
Gotcha.
a specific
Percentage.
percentage, just to answer your question.
Okay.
And we all know right now, these guys are unofficially running leagues. You know, they don't have permits, they don't have exclusive use of it, so everyone is welcome down there. And that's been, I think, the board's hesitation since these pickleball courts opened, is giving exclusive use to one group. I think we need to continue to try to keep it as open as possible.
And I think with this group, the problem with the group, and I shouldn't use the word problem, but I think the issue with it is it's a changing number all the time. When we have a league come to us,
Right.
this is their league, this is their rosters, this is their sign-up.
This is
Deadline
the
for
game
sign-up,
time, here's the
deadline for
officials.
sign-up is April 30th. You're not having 24 people join the league next week, and then 20 people drop out the
Right.
week after. That pickleball thing is almost like a revolving number.
Which is why it's so hard to give them a
Right.
permit for exclusive use of the facility,
While
because
the,
it's kinda
while the
like,
other leagues are set, this
you
is
know-
it. Maybe they'll have 1 or 2 stragglers, or a kid might move
they have
into
to set
town. or-
teams for baseball and basketball and all those things. Like, this is kinda like, you only need 4 people to show up to play. So,
So I think
Anyways.
that's been, I mean, maybe we can come up with something, or, you know, kind of investigate what other people do. But again, other cities and towns charge for the use of their facilities, so that limits this outside taking more than what you need. So that's, you know, something that we really need. I mean, just like with the pickleball court, that's something you could charge for.
Right.
We
Mhm.
can't
So
charge
you
for
can only
baseball
charge.
fields because the leagues maintain
Maintain.
those fields. But, you know, things like pickleball courts where we supply the nets, we supply the lights, there's something where we might be able to go down that road.
And then all of these issues or contingencies on residency and signing up,
Won't
it's
matter.
kind of like it doesn't matter because the fee is the fee, and if you're gonna pay,
The
figure
taxpayer
it
is
out.
now
You
benefiting,
know,
no matter who's
it
using
starts
it, because the
generating revenue
taxpayer's
for-
getting
Right.
revenue.
for the city. So I think that that's the round
Yeah.
and around we go.
Yeah, it's
with
just
pickleball.
difficult because of
Yeah.
that. One, you can't,
But it also, I think it's also important to understand that it's not just Fall River that has these issues, like
Mhm.
with pickleball. Like if you Google it, it's blowing up all over the country, and there are some of these issues where some of these groups can be territorial, you know, be expecting things. So like, it isn't, I think it's a good problem to have, because people wanna use it, but there's, I think, some additional considerations, and maybe the fee is something that could be implemented.
Okay. I guess we
So-
just accept and place on file for now.
yeah,
Yeah,
they'll
'cause
have
we have to
to,
lift
they'll
it
have
from
to
the table,
resubmit
right?
it,
And then
yeah.
they-
Well, it wasn't tabled, that was just information, because they didn't
Okay.
bring it in on time, so
Sure.
you don't have to lift it from the table. But I think what you have to do is just accept this, place it on file, but these rosters, of course, can't be submitted in spring, because
Right.
they're gonna change. So at this point, you're just gonna accept them and state that we're not gonna have them facilitate a quote-unquote league at this late time in the season. And I do want to stress that the nets that we are allowing them to put up after October are their portable nets. They're not to put,
Oh, I don't even wanna-
they're not to hang nets on our,
Right, no, it's, they come, they bring their nets, they play, they
Yeah.
fold up their nets and they bring them home.
and
They
the,
don't bring them home though, right?
They're supposed to bring
well,
them
no,
home.
they don't bring them home,
They
but
put them
that,
in
the
their
other
box.
item that we probably should entertain with this pickleball item is the boxes.
Are they staying there all winter?
That's
shouldn't
what
be.
they shouldn't, I don't think they should. I think when the courts are closed, the boxes
Need
should
to go.
probably
Okay.
be removed, but that's,
I mean, is that something we can even do right now, or is that something that has to be like next meeting?
no, we're discussing pickleball, so I think
Okay.
that you can say, you know, based on this, we're not gonna give them a league, but at this point, when the season is through in October, that either you're gonna allow those things to stay, or you're not gonna allow them to stay. If you wanna, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna guess that either way, if you take them out, you'll be having that item on your agenda next month.
Yeah, and so I think that we should accept this, place it on file. When the courts are shut down, officially shut down, those boxes should be gone. And next year, if they wanted to put them back, they need to come back to us and ask for permission
Permission
to put them
as
back.
part of-
Because I feel like other leagues will have a separate like storage thing, but that goes when their
When the
Their
season's
season
over.
is done,
over.
yes.
And then are the porta potties gone? Do we know?
Not as of the other day.
No, because he has a tournament, the October
Gotcha,
16th
okay.
that we
They didn't
approved.
move it either, though.
They moved
Still
it
in the
to
same
the
spot.
side. It was right at the front entrance. They moved it around the corner, so at
Still
the,
kind of at the front entrance.
I know, but at this point, like you said, it's 21 days. I'm not gonna bang my head against the wall, but maybe those are the things that we need to discuss when next spring this permit comes up. If there's a porta john going there, it does not go at the front entrance of the courts. You know, the box needs to do this with the box or whatever, but,
Okay.
but the
Like,
board
they
can
can do it
definitely
like,
say when the,
They can do it like the baseball league, little league do. They have the box outside. And the porta potties outside, nobody else can see them. So,
well, yeah, that's.
Yeah, they're
Right.
around the, but the
The
storage
Little League
boxes, those
doesn't keep
all-
any
yeah, they don't
storage
keep it there, they
boxes or
leave it.
anything there
It's
over, after
usually-
the season, like.
Yeah,
they-
when it's
Right,
in
yeah,
the
no, I'm
building,
saying, yeah.
secured in the building.
this
they
is
don't
during the
have-
season,
North
Oh, yeah.
Park at one point used to have, a pod
right.
that they had in,
Yep.
because they didn't have a lot of storage there. So during the season, when they had a Little League there, the Little League had a pod, and when the season was over, the pod had to be removed. So, I don't know whether you're gonna meet with any resistance to that, but the board can,
Well, I mean, we never approved it to begin with, so.
No, we didn't.
Okay, so I make that motion, place it on file, everything's gotta go
And so
as of October
will you draw up a
30th.
letter that we can sign and send him to remove the,
No,
or just tell him?
I
that-
will send him an email stating that the board voted to, not have him make up a league, but the box, once the season closes and our nets are removed, the boxes should also be removed for
Yeah.
the season.
Yeah, and I would give him a date, cause he could be like, my season's not done till Christmas.
Well,
No,
you,
then-
right here, you make the date.
Well, the
October
park's closed
30th.
October 31st, right?
Okay,
That's when
so
the-
by,
the rest
by
of the park's
one
closed.
week, you wanna give him 1 week after the Halloween? Gives them
Sure.
time to take it out, I think that's fair enough, like
Yeah.
you can,
Hmm.
okay. So we'll go with November 7th,
Okay. You
or I'll
second
go the
that?
Friday of
So
the.
the,
Second it.
yeah, so the motion is to place his league on file until
Yeah.
next year, and then the addendum to that is to let him know that because it's the end of the year, the board would also like him to,
All boxes
get
and,
get everything out
and
of
Porta
there
John should be removed by,
within a week of
within
the
a week
park's
of the park.
closing.
November 2nd,
And he should also understand that that's not specific to his pickleball league in courts.
It's-
The parks and throughout the city close on the 31st, so we're giving him an extra week to get his stuff out of there. So
Oh, yeah, no, I
Amber
made
made
that
that
motion.
motion, seconded by Commissioner Farias. Everyone agrees, all in favor.
Aye.
aye.
Item E are a couple of complaints regarding unpermitted use of Lafayette Park, Mason Street, and Pulaski Park, and Warren Street. So Nancy and I had conversations about this. I read through each of these. I don't know what kind of teeth this board has, other than passing along these complaints. They're not the first time we've heard them, but,
This group is from Pulaski,
okay.
just so.
Thank you for coming. The conversations with Nancy were to pass along to the police department
Mhm.
and advise,
We've gone that route already. We've gone through our neighborhood association.
actually, can you just,
Come on.
yeah, can you just come down on
Whoever
the
wants
mic
to-
so that,
spokesperson.
whoever wants to
Go ahead.
have a
Oh, you can-
conversation.
Both of you can come, both of
Yeah,
you
you can both come, if you'd like.
Just gotta tell us both your names.
Just
Well,
your name and
remain
address,
anonymous,
please,
you
just
gotta say
for the record, we're on camera and,
Sure. My name is Paul Lemay. I live at 466 Warren Street, Fall River.
thank you for coming down, Paul,
So
so
let Mr. Lemire is who sent in this letter.
Okay.
Yes.
we
I do have some
appreciate.
of our neighbors here. Some of them couldn't make it because of work. They're gonna
Sure.
try and make it here, but everybody has concerns with this. I mean, you've read the letter. I mean, I have copies if anybody needs copies of it. But this has been going on for at least 5 years. It started out small events like soccer, and then the volleyball nets came in. And more volleyball nets came in. And then now it's escalated into selling beer, merchandise, clothing, jewelry. They brought grills in now. And they've got, it looks like a circus.
Now,
You go there.
what response do you get when the police, are they nothing?
Most of the time when we call the police is because there's so many of them. There's over 100 of them every weekend. And I'm being like real low on the 100. It's probably closer to 2. They take up all our parking spots. They park, they turn around in our neighbors' yards. You see when I wrote on there, they're using my house as, my property as a bathroom.
I was
mean-
gonna ask what this picture was. 'cause I
Yeah,
was very confused. Oh.
it's urine and feces, it's everything. I'm picking up diapers. I probably got 3 soccer balls in my yard that my dog confiscated already, so I'm not gonna give them
Good for the
back now. But the kids play, I got no problem with people playing. But it starts at 2 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. They set up all these nets, all these tents, and they bring in food, they bring in the booze, they bring in merchandise, and they set up they set up, I think, 6 tents this last weekend. And they park in front of your garage, they'll park in front of your driveway, they'll turn around we've got neighbors with sprinkler systems, they turn around in their yard, in the company vans. And, it's, when the cops come, yeah, a lot of them leave, they move their vehicles, the police
Yeah,
have
shouldn't have to
other
call-
issues.
Police have a lot of stuff going on
Right.
anyways, too.
And
right?
I understand that, and I got all respect for the police.
Same.
And they'll come down, they've tagged cars for blocking driveways, garages in front of my driveway. I got pictures to prove it. And the thing is, they'll park there to put their four-ways on. By the time the police come,
Yeah.
the car's gone. So, you know, the police get sick of it, and I would get sick of it too. But the neighbors are really fed up with it. They're leaving garbage behind, and, you know,
Yeah.
there's no porta johns. I doubt if there's any license for
There's
anything.
not.
No, there
There's
isn't.
not. So
Okay.
I think that's like the thing for us.
Yeah, it's a
and
health
that's-
issue.
And that's where we struggle. I don't speak for you guys, but where I struggle with a lot of these things is, you just heard us talk about pickleball in these different fields, and it's very hard for us to police. And I'm not diminishing any of the things that are going on here, or
Right.
don't take this as me not believing you. But I'm not sure what kind of teeth we have or what we can help with. And I don't want that to sound like I'm shrugging my shoulders.
Right.
I wish Helen was
But
here.
I'm
Like,
trying
I
to.
understand, like, during the week, if it was happening during the week, I could call up one of the departments.
Right.
And they could send a crew down. On the weekends, it's shut down.
Right.
I
But
know
I-
this,
but I
right?
think-
And
I-
they know
And they
this.
know it.
Right, and they know it.
Right.
And they'll put up the tents and the nets and everything on a Saturday afternoon, and they don't come down till Sunday night. They stay up there all summer, all
All
weekend.
night.
And it's crazy, and they're out there till like
And
midnight.
wasn't this part of the idea with building that volleyball court that was built at Kennedy? There was a new,
I've seen it.
the Ecuadorian
Yeah.
I've
volleyball
seen it. I
court
went
that
down
they
and
built.
looked at
The thought was,
To get them out of
because
here.
you know that I haven't been on this board for 5 years, but we've heard that this has been going on for years. And I think that was part of the thought was, let's build them a place to go play that isn't, where that's where they should be playing.
Yeah.
Let's build them a court so they're not bringing their own nets and they're not, aside from all the other stuff that's going on.
Well, just to give you a little background, originally when this first started, they would put the nets up. And I would send the guys to take the nets down.
Yeah.
I don't know
They
how
would leave
many
them up all
nets.
week,
I
yeah.
don't know how many nets these people have, because they never
just
came
keep
and get the
coming.
nets, and the nets just kept on coming back and I had like nets, thousands.
But now they got them down before Monday before you can get in.
Well, yeah, exactly. So now they're down before Monday. Now
And when
they
they play, this isn't just for fun. They play
Right.
for money. They play for $100 a person. Because a few of the neighbors had, I think it was a 4th of July party one time, and they were there, and they said, they had a bunch of guys there, they say, hey, let's go over and play volleyball. We'll play these guys and play one of their teams. They said, yeah, you can play, but it's $100 a person. A person. I mean, they do it for,
Yeah.
they do it for money, which, whatever. I mean,
this was,
the problem I have is the health issue.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Again,
the
there's
mess
a lot
that
of
we
I was
have to
gonna
deal
say.
The
with.
alcohol's a problem.
The
the,
Yeah,
aggravation
selling things is
of-
a lot, the whole thing is a problem.
Yeah.
And I mean, whether we have to see if some of these departments can go out on the weekend, because it's not like it doesn't happen, I think it's a regular thing. But
Even
the
with the
problem,
weather turning, they're still out.
but the
they'll be out
problem
there this
is if they
weekend.
go, yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
have these
pretty-
guys come in on the weekend, and they don't happen to be there that week, that's 6 hours of overtime for them to come and see nobody. So
And we
the
would
only
have
other.
to send it to the administration and ask for that.
Right, and the only thing with that is, I think the main thing, and we've tried this, is the police. And I've had officers call me, and they go there, and some of the officers, they had to get like Spanish-speaking officers to go there. And the officers spoke to them in Spanish and said, listen, this is not something you can do, you need to get permits, you need to whatever. But it just doesn't seem to go anywhere.
Yeah, and you don't know who's organizing it. I mean,
That was gonna be
I've
one.
I've gone over there, who's in charge, and none of them speak English, which, whatever.
Right.
Some of them do, I shouldn't say none of them, some of them do. But, are you running this thing? No, we're just here for fun.
Right.
But clearly what they're there for, they're making money, it's like a carnival, it seriously is. 2 years ago, they drank late in the night, and when they left, one of the guys ran over one of their others, right in front of my garage. Ran him over, who's under the car, backed back over him, and left. And this was brought up at one of the, Niagara Association meetings. I brought it in there, I told the Mayor Coogan at the time. And, that was supposed to be looked into.
Right. Well, I think that was the mayor's thought was trying to build the courts down at Kennedy, so they
Right.
had more room,
Right.
and they weren't, you know,
On top of a
all,
neighborhood.
everybody in that neighborhood. There's
Yeah.
brand new courts down there, and I
Well-
think he's been down there and tried to tell them, go play down at these new
Well, there's
courts.
probably
but-
more than one group, because they play at Maplewood, they
Yeah, they
play at
do.
Lafayette, they play at Pulaski, they play everywhere.
Right,
So,
and we've got plenty of parks for them to spread out and
Right.
play volleyball. You just gotta
Legally.
cut out all the other stuff that
Right.
goes along with it.
there's
Right.
I heard you talking about, Porta Johns, there's no, Porta John is around 466 Warren Street, that's what they use as a Porta John,
Yeah,
the
no, you
fence
need a
right there.
permit to get a porta
It's
john, so
disgusting.
that
I
Right.
mean,
makes
it
sense.
seriously
No,
is. I just had a tree cut down because the top of it was dead. I'm beginning to think it's because of them, you know? All these years of poisoning the soil around it. There's no grass growing around that tennis court. Well, you know, it was a
Like the
tennis
open
court at
area.
one time.
Yeah.
There's no grass because they lay out artificial turf. So the grass is just dirt. I see the grass crew there, I think they come on Monday or Tuesday. It was Mike, I'm not sure what his whole
Mm-hmm.
name is, but, and I showed him the mess that they left. He took pictures with him. Mike, is
Yeah, I
that
have-
the foreman?
Yeah, he's one of my foremen.
Yeah, I let him take pictures, because my pictures are in black and white, I don't have a color
No,
picture.
yeah,
but-
color.
No, yeah, we got
Oh,
color
did they
on
come in
there, yeah.
color? Okay,
Yeah.
great. But it's, the pictures are deceiving, if you see it firsthand, it's disgusting.
No, I,
And I can smell, I got a rabbit near my shed there, in a cage, and I'm like, boy, it's only one little rabbit, I'm constantly putting stuff in there, like, it can't be, I go around, because now I see the stain coming through
Yeah.
into my yard. You know, and they go on my garage, on my wall.
I don't.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
and neighbors, if you confront them, I've already almost gotten into fistfights with these guys,
Yeah,
just
no,
to move a
they-
car out from
No,
in front of my
you
garage,
shouldn't do that.
so
That's
my daughter
exactly-
can park.
That's exactly why I don't send, our guys in there, because our guys don't have the authority to do that. The police have the authority that if you're not gonna listen to what they do, they arrest you and off you go. My guys, I don't want them
Yeah.
to get in, and one, they don't work those days either, but I would have them come in, but for what? A confrontation? It's not gonna work. That's,
And we don't know who's the point person to say,
No,
let's sit
again-
at a table and have a conversation about what you can and can't do in the parks and when you can and can't do it. And if you can't abide by it, these are the consequences.
I
Like,
do
Dude,
know-
we should
we
just go
don't-
on Saturday, put our lawn chairs out there and just wait.
Yeah, I mean, you could go around and just take pictures of all their vans, they're all company vans, they're all workers. They're all hard
Yeah.
workers, they all do roofing and carpentry and plumbing and electric. They're all their company vehicles are there, they bring all their family, the entire park, they got a nice water sprinkler there, all the kids are playing in it, they play in the
Splash pad.
playground. The kids are, kids are kids, they make noise, they
Sure.
play, whatever.
Which is part of a park, right?
Right,
Right.
Yeah, but-
But it's
my
the
other
late
question
night,
is-
Yeah,
you know.
and even the water, they shouldn't be hooking up water things there. Or
No,
the-
it's our
Oh,
splash
our
pad.
No, there's a
splash
water
pad. All right, I
splash
thought you were
pad or
talking
whatever
about
it's-
bringing it to.
So if the parks close at 9,
yes,
so if they're there past 9, the police should be kicking them out.
yes.
And if there's booze there
Yeah,
at any
100%,
time,
yeah.
that should be,
Yeah.
I would assume, confiscated and,
And they're not supposed to be selling food out of there, even to each other.
Yeah.
And that's just against
No, you
all
can't
of the
bring the-
city ordinances, so that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. And what he's saying, there are multiple violations to what is going on here.
Right.
And someone,
we need to
and,
find someone to
I was gonna say,
enforce it.
I feel like we should find out whose beat path that is. Like what police officer that's their route.
I
Because I
think
know that
it
certain,
changed.
like Kennedy Park, when I
Yeah.
have mine, there are certain people
12.
that's their area. I know they're gonna be at whatever event is there because that's literally their area
Yeah,
to patrol.
Well,
Well-
there is a name on the Ferreras on that letter. She calls the police more than I do.
Yeah, she
I have
has.
a privacy fence. I have the park fence, chain link, and then I put a privacy fence. I left like a foot and a half, so I could get behind it, to work on it. And she has more pictures, them urinating, pointing it at her, flipping her. I mean, she's called the
Yeah.
police more than I have, where they've
Should.
done damage to her property. They're damaging mine too, but
yeah.
I don't see it.
Sure.
So, the police tell me, well, if you see him doing it, but I can't see through my fence.
Yeah.
Right.
I see it the next day when the sun's out and I walk back there and went, what the heck, you know what I mean? But you can't, I'm not gonna patrol my yard the whole weekend.
No,
Right, nor
You
should
know.
you have to.
right. Well, maybe we can,
I believe, did you send this letter to the mayor's office as well?
Yes, I did.
Yes, because I got a call from the mayor's office, and I had said, you know, we know this is an issue, it needs to be addressed
Yeah,
by
Ann
the police.
O'Neill
So I don't know if
responded,
Ann
so
reached
she
out
got
to the police,
Mhm.
and I had said to Ann, I know that the mayor did originally go around to these folks and ask them, you know, hey, we got a new court, why don't you go down there and use it? And I asked if he had gone lately, she wasn't sure. I did what I could do in the interim, but
maybe
I-
that's the follow-up though, is to
I really
see if we
think-
can't get a meeting with the mayor, maybe, and somebody, a representative from the police department to try to figure out.
Yeah,
I think- 'cause I
Saturday,
think
maybe
so-
Saturday afternoon
Yeah.
or Sunday afternoon at Pulaski Park, we can have the meeting.
Yeah. It's probably
I
a good
mean,
time to have
bring
it.
Got your
lawn
address, we'll knock
chairs.
on your door.
If he wants a hamburger or something, I won't charge him neither. I'll do that on my own private property. I have no problem with it, but
yeah, I think
It's-
it needs to be addressed because
just,
this
just
is
take a
really
ride by
getting
there.
out of hand.
You don't even have to stop. You won't have no place to park anyway.
So my other question is, I don't know if Fall River does this, but is there a way to put like residential parking, like, is that a thing?
No.
I know that, I don't think it is, but like, is
No, I don't
that a
think so.
possibility?
I
I'm,
think they tried it, and I don't know if they,
well, I don't think you can because technically,
We don't do resident, like.
right, it's,
permits.
usually
walking.
resident parking is because there's, the street's not wide enough or whatever, like with Boston
Yeah.
or, I
New
don't think
Bedford
they
does
would
it
do
too.
that because
That's what
every,
New Bedford has it, Newport has it, and it's not even, the street's wide enough, it's just, if you live here, here's a permit, you can park wherever.
Right.
So
Mhm.
like, wean down on people who don't live in that neighborhood from parking there.
right, but then
It's
you're gonna
hard, though,
reach a
because if
point
you have
of
a
what
park-
do you do with people that visit a public park? There's no parking, they park on the street.
Yeah.
So, that would be okay.
Because we have a similar, I don't think it's been going on nearly as long as what's been going on at Pulaski, but we have a complaint from Lafayette Park too, from the neighbors at Lafayette Park,
Right.
that there was a group of people with a bounce house and with all kinds of stuff that we had no idea that they were there. So it's the same,
I mean, that'll be next. At this rate, that they're bringing in,
Listen, there might not be enough room there.
well,
Although
the
you
way
never
that, the
know.
way they're destroying the park, trees are getting destroyed, they're falling down, they're missing. I say just get rid of the tennis courts and just plant trees in there.
yeah.
There's no, I mean,
Yeah,
there's no tennis
I mean,
court
that-
there, it's just a court,
Right.
there's no,
right, it's
there's
an
no
old,
nets, it's kinda run down, the
it's an
fence is
old
falling
tennis
apart.
court that was never,
Oh, put pickleball there, let them fight it out.
I mean, they're drilling into the tennis court to put their nets
I'm
up
sorry, I'm
anyway. No, we don't want pickleball there neither, that'll be worse, so.
No, it's a part, like pickleball, they just take over, so that's what I'm
Right,
saying,
it'll
they'd
be the
have to
same thing.
fight it out.
Lot
pickleball,
more
they have
noise,
a
too.
noise ordinance now everywhere.
A lot more noise,
God.
property
Well,
value.
like I
But maybe
said,
that's what we can.
I think we
like,
need
the
to,
action
I think we
can
need
take
to
is talk to the mayor and talk to, his office and
see if we can have a
see
meeting.
if we can get a meeting, like you said, get
I was
down
gonna say,
there on
I'm
a Saturday.
free Saturday, so I can go if it ends up being, I feel so bad. I'm a homeowner, so like, I can't even
Yeah.
imagine.
And it was never this bad.
I think
mean,
you should go
it
by
started
anyway,
out
Amber, so you have
fun.
an inside.
Oh, I will. I'm gonna buy you one of those Halloween decorations that goes off with motion and it's gonna scare the crap out of them. Just put it right in that corner.
A tree that
At
walks.
nighttime. Just scare them.
I think, like you
Yeah,
said,
no.
maybe if the mayor's office wants to reach out and, cause they're aware of it as well. If
But I
maybe
think
we
we
can
need the
arrange a
police
meeting
to
and,
Yeah.
with the police department,
That's
ourselves,
what I
and,
think needs to help.
Yeah.
cause I don't know what powers the police department has. I'm sure that if you don't have a permit to use a park, they can ask you to leave.
Yeah.
If you're
But I
causing a
think-
commotion, a
But I
public
think
park is
nipping
for
that,
use.
I think it like, I mean,
Well,
step
if
one,
they're
if
drinking.
they go there and they're drinking, I
Yeah.
mean,
That's.
I would think the drinking, I would
They're
think
not
if you coulda,
Grilling too, 'cause
They're
that's also
selling
what happens.
merchandise
Yeah.
and selling
Yes.
food also.
They are,
You know, I
they are
think if-
pretty much annihilating every city ordinance we have over there.
And I
to be
think
honest
if-
with you.
maybe you disagree, but I think if we were able to take the booze and the food out of there, then
wouldn't
they're
need
probably
to-
not gonna
they
be
wouldn't
there all
need to go
night,
to
and
the
they're probably not gonna
bathroom.
be peeing anywhere, right? They don't, like, isn't that part of the problem? I
Well,
mean,
the thing is, you can't get a porta potty in a park without a permit.
Permit.
They're clearly not gonna get a permit.
They've never
because
been
they're
in
gonna
front of
wanna
us
do
for a
things
permit.
That wouldn't
Right.
be allowed under a permit, so it's.
Well, don't say that because we have a porta potty without a permit.
I'm not going there.
Nancy, don't piss me off.
Well, owning all these businesses and companies they have, they probably have access to porta, unless
Johns,
they go to
right.
these job sites and do the same thing to their property, but it's
I
it's
think
coming
I-
to a head.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's coming to a head on a lot of residents and me mostly because it's my property being damaged.
Sure.
And they don't care.
Well, I think
They'll
you
tell you
brought it
F you or
forward.
whatever,
I think he's brought it
And-
forward to the Niagara Neighborhood Association.
No, yeah, it
He's
says
brought
it all
forward
in
to
here.
us.
No.
The mayor's office has now been informed.
We have called the
And I don't
Yes.
want it to seem like we're
Yeah.
sitting on our hands,
No.
but I
Yeah.
think, like, that's,
but if they're operating this without permits, isn't, I mean,
Is-
the parks, you guys,
Right, but we
you
would
would.
call
We
the
wouldn't
police.
call the
We'd
police.
call the police.
so
Right.
that's the
We would
thing.
call the police, say they don't have a permit for this, and the police is
And we
supposed to
don't have
go.
like.
because if
Is that-
we go on
is
there
that
on
something
Saturday,
you're gonna do?
cardboard
If we-
badges, but
well,
we
that's
don't
what I'm
have
saying,
them.
is I think, because if we go down there on a Saturday and say, hey, we're from the Parks Department, you guys gotta leave, they're gonna tell me the same thing they tell you, right? I mean, so
If
I
you show
think,
up with the police though and
but,
tell
and so
them,
that's what I think, from here, I
I'll
think
save
the-
you a parking spot.
I
Park
think
in
the
my
meeting
driveway, I
from
give you
here has to
permission.
be, one of us with
Yeah.
the mayor and the police department to say, all right, we're gonna, and it's probably gonna take being down there more than one Saturday. It's probably gonna take some follow-up on the police department side to,
Well, the police department knows. I mean, this
Yeah.
has been going
Yeah.
on, they've been called quite a bit, so it's
I
it's not gonna be a big surprise to them.
No.
right.
They've been called from the Ferreras on there multiple times.
And I've had
By
numerous
me-
conversations with the
No,
police
and you,
Yeah.
about this,
Yeah.
and telling them, listen, I can't send Joe Blow in there to say, hey, you guys gotta leave. The guy's gonna give him a punch in the mouth. I don't know what to expect, I don't know, maybe they're nice people, but the point of it all is they're not gonna leave. Yeah, okay, goodbye, but if someone's gonna take you and your family and cart them off in the cruiser, they're gonna pay a little bit more attention. And not that we want that to happen,
Yeah.
but this
It
is
just
just
means a little
complete
bit more when it comes from a
disrespect.
police
This is,
officer
and we're
than-
not saying you can't go there, and they're not saying you can't go there, but they're saying there is a time and a place, and there are rules and regulations to follow. And if you're not gonna follow them, then yes, you are gonna be asked to leave.
Yeah.
or fined or ticketed or whatever the
Whatever
ordinances
it
say.
says.
There's rules on up there, right? What they can do and can't do. Yeah, we have rules all over the place.
Yeah, you can't bring grills in, you
Right.
can't have alcohol, the ordinances in the city of
Yeah.
Fall River say you can't bring pre-cooked food to sell.
Do you have signs that say all this?
No.
You don't have signs
There's
like,
not really,
no.
like, is there even anywhere to hang them? I guess we would just have to.
We have
put
to hang them
like-
on your fence.
it's fine, I don't.
No,
on the
I
fence.
don't think the sign, it's like anything else. The sign is not gonna make a difference. I think they know I mean, I don't need a sign to tell me I'm not supposed to urinate in your yard.
Right,
That
right. They just
doesn't
don't
require
care.
a
I
sign.
mean, they don't respect themselves by running themselves, their friends over and then leaving them in the road
Right.
and leaving
the
the scene.
craziest
I
thing
mean,
I've
this,
ever
this was on video. This was on video, so they can't say it never happened.
Right.
The kid was brought to, St. Luke's Hospital? So with non-life threatened, but he was all busted up. He was laying there motionless, like moaning, but that could have been my kid, and that's
Right.
what,
Right.
if something like that happens, we're gonna be in a different courtroom here, but it's,
Sure.
Yeah.
it's getting to the point where somebody's gonna get hurt, whether it's physically or whatever, because, like I said, neighbors are getting, fed up,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
I don't blame them.
I
I
don't
don't
know
either.
who else to call. We've called the police. I've sent you the letters. I've
Yeah.
gone to the Niagara meetings. I've come to this meeting. Thank you so much. And
No, thank you.
The
I was
mayor.
gonna say, yeah, cause I feel like I knew, cause Helen also lives in that area,
Yeah.
right? And she always complains about
Helen
Plessy Park,
Ringo,
so
yeah.
like, that's why I was like, I wish Helen was here tonight.
No,
She'd be
we'll
able
just
to
get out of
figure out what this is actually
well, she
doing.
should know. She put all the trees, the new trees in the
Well,
park.
no, so
and
that
there's a
she,
few of them
she does
missing.
complain about, so I knew that, but I didn't realize like this, how in-depth it was.
Yeah.
I do have one other question for you. On a weekend, So for Lafayette, like one of the parts, it says like sometimes our baseball leagues have a permit, are trying to play, and the people that are at Lafayette are in the back and they like get into arguments and interactions because they won't leave. Who would they call if someone has a permit and someone
police.
is, the police?
The police.
'Cause the permit's
And that's
on
why I say to
file.
them, no, have your permit with you. They get a copy of that permit. I say,
Yeah,
to-
I get a
make
copy.
sure you have your permit
never had
with
an
you
issue, so I
that
don't
day,
know.
because if there is an issue, you call the police, you show them, hey, I have this field here from 3 to 5, and these people are in the outfield, they can't be here. The police, in turn, read that, it's a permit from the Board of Park Commissioners, and they go, you have to leave, these people have a permit for this area. So, it's the police that police the parks to make sure the rules and regulations are followed through. And I'm sure they know that this is out of the realm of our rules. They are aware of functions that take place that follow the rules, and they know they have to have inspections and sign-off sheets, and what these people are doing would require all those departments, fire department, police department, health
Well, and
department,
I
all
can't
of
even
those
think
people
of
that
anything
sign
that
off
would give
on
out
these
an
events.
alcohol. I mean, the alcohol is what, like, to me, it should be like, that should be.
Done.
But that should be, I
Or
don't wanna
banning
like downplay,
cooking
but
in
that
the
should be
park.
easy for the police to come in and
Well, they put them
police.
in big giant punch bowls.
Yeah, but
But you-
it's pretty
Beer
obvious
cans
what's
every-
going on,
beer
you
cans
know?
are scattered throughout the park.
So it's
Next
like-
time you see a grill, call the fire department.
No, the
Well,
fire
they put them in the
department
grill.
won't-
They put them in those
The
tents.
fire department came when there was a grill at one of the events that I was at. It was permitted, but they had to come to it and inspect it and all of that. They came. If you have a grill, the fire department has to come and inspect it before you grill.
They say if it's less than 10 pound, like,
Bottles.
they won't come.
How
But
big are
we
these
have the
grills?
rule and regulation that says
No
no grills in the park
Mm.
without inspections from the fire department, because we can't have people bringing a 12-year-old household grill into the thing with a tank that we don't know anything about, and then something happens.
Right.
So that's why we say commercial grills rented, because they have to come with insurance, and someone like this needs, like our leagues, need a liability insurance policy. When you get a permit, you need to provide a liability insurance policy for these things. We have everything in place for the leagues that follow the protocol. The leagues that don't follow the protocol, we rely on the police department to say, you can't do this, you need to contact these people in the park department, and you need to follow their rules and regulations. That's what should be going on here. Done. Shut down. We know you don't have a permit. We know you're not following the
Right.
rules. This party is over. That's what needs to happen there. I don't know why it doesn't or hasn't. Because the police department is well aware of the rules and regulations of a permitted park
So
event.
who in the police department do you call?
Let us, I think,
I was
let
gonna
us,
say, we'll
Yeah,
figure
let
that
us
out.
try to
let us
resolve
do
this
that
with
tomorrow,
them.
this week.
Because they've been called enough times that, you know,
Is it called, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but have they been called in this settings, or is it, hey, they're here now type of thing? 'Cause-
Oh, no, they've been called for their here
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I know that for a
But
fact.
but I'm thinking, maybe it's more effective to have a little bit, like, to have the meeting with you guys, with a representative from the police department, a representative from the mayor's office, and one of us, and, all right, let's come up with a plan for the next however many weeks. Because my concern is, or maybe some of the pushback from the police is, yeah, we throw them out of there. I'm not saying that this happened, but we throw them out of there this Saturday, they're gonna come back next Saturday. How many weeks in a row, and what is the game plan, and how often can we meet to say, all right, well, for the next 3 weeks, can you send somebody by, and can we get them out of there? And then let's regroup again
Because even
next
if they come
month.
back, they're still not supposed to be there.
Right.
So we
Correct.
kick them out again.
Right.
Even
Just
if
have
it's
to
every
keep
weekend,
throwing
like,
them
hey,
out.
this is, I'll see you next week. Like it's.
I'm sure if they, and I don't want this to happen, but I'm sure if they started arresting people for drinking in the park or whatever,
Right, I
their
mean,
buddies.
you're breaking the
it's
law.
like-
I mean,
It's
Right.
like anything
all
else.
the way around.
I'm not
Right.
gonna go there again, because now I know my buddy and two of my other buddies just got locked up. I don't wanna get
Well,
arrested.
And I would think that is, I don't know the law, but you can't walk down the street drinking
No,
it.
it's
You
a-
can't
oh,
drink
You
it in
exactly.
can't
the
expose
park.
I mean,
yourself
You know,
neither,
right?
and
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they're exposing,
If I
there's
can't do it, you
kids
can.
around, so.
Yes, I think
Okay, I'll
BJ's
expose them on
right. I think we need to come up with a strategy of maybe contact the mayor's office and ask them to arrange a meeting for all of us and include someone from the neighborhood or yourself or whoever may
Your
be
contact
available
info is
during the
here.
day.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know that anybody is available during the day,
Well,
but
I know John Sylvia, he was gonna try
He's
and
with
come
the
here.
Niagara
Niagara,
neighborhood.
yeah, he
Yeah.
I'm
couldn't make
around
it
those
I was gonna
tonight.
say, I also feel like maybe I can call like a city councilor or two and see like even if they're on board with it, maybe
Proposal.
they can.
Andrew.
Yeah, I was thinking
Andrew.
Andrew, like see if Andrew can come and maybe Andrew can help facilitate something, like to get them
Cause I think
involved
that's
too.
the thing, it needs to be a longer term, like, cause if we just throw them out, then they're gonna come back, and then are we gonna have to have this conversation how many more times? What's the
Right.
long plan here?
Yeah.
I think
for
once we have
throwing
the
them out
meeting, I think once we have the meeting, that the plan should be in place. This is
Yeah.
what's gonna happen, and we say to the police department, and what happens if they come back the following week? It's up to the police department
They
to tell
have to
us
keep following up.
what we're gonna do, because us as individual citizens certainly can't go over there and get into a one-on-one with those people. This clearly has to be resolved by someone who has authority to take it to the next step. If not just,
Right,
And Saturday's rolling right around the corner.
Yeah.
Today's hump day, so it's,
And it's supposed to be nice Saturday too.
right, they're gonna be there. It's
So,
close to
yeah.
the end of the season, around when the
So why don't we do
clocks
that?
change is when they pack it up for
we
the
can
season.
contact
We'll
tomorrow,
call the
reach
mayor's
out.
office in the morning, let him know you were here, talk to him about all this, and maybe if he has some time tomorrow or Friday,
Yeah.
we can get somebody and try to put something in place for Saturday to get, what time do they, the afternoon, like if we
Yeah, they
say,
usually show up around, what, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They'll
So-
start coming in, and then they'll set
so
up
it's
the
peak,
tents.
peak
I
at
mean,
5
I say
o'clock.
the tent.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, 5 o'clock
So
is.
if that's what we tell the police, maybe in our meeting, do we have someone that can go there sometime between 4 and 6? Because that's when
Yeah.
they're gonna be there,
Yeah.
and they're gonna be doing all the things they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, 8 o'clock, you'll have a full circus going.
It's dark.
They're out there.
They're out there.
They're out there.
In the dark?
I was gonna say, that's the other thing,
Yeah,
like if
they
it,
have
if
lights,
it's past
they- oh, yeah,
nine,
they
if-
set up-
I don't understand
they
how
got
they're still, if
commercial
it's
set
past
up
9 and the
lights.
police are going by,
My
they shouldn't
my
be there.
sensor light for my ring on my driveway is constantly going on when they walking by, whatever. If they walk by the fence, there, behind my fence, it sets off my alarm, my sensor light.
Hours and then wake up. It's a hard show.
But 5 o'clock, yeah, it's prime time.
So if that, I think that will be, what we'll
Yeah.
do is, we'll follow up with the mayor's office in the morning, try to get, if, I can't make promises
Yeah,
for,
I know.
for
But
them,
maybe
but
even
I,
the police
that's
can
what
go
I
out
think
this
we'll
Sat- maybe-
propose, if you're in agreement,
Yeah.
to say, hey, tomorrow's gonna be Thursday, is there someone available on Saturday to go down there at 5 o'clock, between 4 and 6, whatever, around that time, and to try to put some teeth behind,
Yeah.
cleaning it up, like, you wanna go play volleyball, you wanna use a splash pad, that's what it's there for. You wanna bring booze in here and you'll be going to the bathroom all over the place, like, you're gonna get fined, you're gonna get whatever,
Arrested.
and you're not gonna be down here
And I can
anymore.
point out where they're going.
Yeah.
There'll probably be some fresh stuff by then. They have no shame. It's disgusting. I mean, they have no shame. They go right on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
It's,
I was gonna say, well, never mind, maybe not.
you know, right on the side. And, I mean, I
Because
don't
I
even
feel
wanna
like
say,
that's
but
also, like,
they'll
you
go
get
in,
arrested,
you know,
like,
the
you
plastic
can't.
bags you get at the supermarket, that you used to
Yeah.
put the paper bag in? They take the plastic bag, go in the vans, urinate in them, and then throw the whole bag out in the street. Right up, all down Jackson Street there, alongside the
God, I
park.
didn't
I've gone out there, see trash out there, I'm gonna go get the trash out in the street, clean it up, picking it up and it's dripping, it's urine. That's like,
Sheesh.
that's what animals do, I
Yeah.
just,
No, you're right.
Okay, I'll make that motion that we contact the mayor's office and we'll be in contact with you guys and we will try and figure this out together.
So,
Second,
Mr. Lemare, is it Lemare?
yes,
You'll be our point person for contact
Sure.
within the next couple of days,
sure,
and the phone number we have in the packet is good to call you on.
that's good.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
all right,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Thank you.
So we have a second on
apologize.
Amber's.
Second,
Motion made by Commissioner Burns to place the complaints on file and to follow up with the mayor's office to see if we can't come up with a solution to help these folks out and clean up the park a little bit. Seconded by Commissioner Farias. Unanimous, motion carries. All right, that was item E. Item F is the election of a park board member to serve on the Community Preservation Committee. Victor's time has come and gone as the representative of the park board on the CPC, so,
I nominate you, VJ.
I second that nomination.
thank you. I will accept that nomination, to the CPC. And I'll follow up with Mr. Brandt, who's the chairman over there, and figure out what I need to do to, do that.
Okay,
And I'll report back next meeting.
okay.
If can I say one other thing, or?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I forgot about another important thing. They park right in front of the fire hydrants too. They'll block a fire hydrant on Jackson Street side. Yeah,
So
this gentleman's property, he's got a fire hydrant. They're parked there, they're parked on his grass, in his driveway. But there's fire hydrants all along there. I think there's 2 fire hydrants. Is it 2? 1 or 2? 2 fire hydrants. And they park their vans right on the side of fire hydrants. So maybe the fire department,
So there's our,
Police department can
Are
tag.
you, Mr. Almeida? Okay, okay. All right.
police department will tag that, because they're supposed to tag them
yeah.
if.
that should be an easy one.
Yeah.
I mean, they've gotten
Tag.
tags. I don't know if they pay their tickets, but they've blocked my
They tag.
driveway. They come by, get the $20 or $40 ticket, whatever it is, and they just laugh it off, load their van, they leave it there. They don't move
Well, if
them.
it's a company van, maybe they don't,
Yeah,
it's
they don't
not
move
them
them.
that's,
I don't even,
yeah.
I wonder if that's the other thing, the company vans, I wonder if
and
they're their
I've even
companies.
posted, no parking, driveway, garage, and they don't care. Put I know you're not supposed to put lines in the street, but I put a little spray paint,
They're not-
spray paint, a
they're
little
not
like, just to
supposed to
help
do
them
what
out.
they
I'm
do
trying to
either.
help them out, like,
We actually put in a driveway, because we
Yeah.
couldn't leave the house at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Anytime after 3,
prisoners.
we wouldn't be able to come back home. So we actually had to put in a driveway a couple of years ago so that we could not be prisoners in our home on the weekends,
Mm.
in the summer, in spring, and sometimes early winter. 'Cause it's very strange and odd.
Okay.
Thank you again.
You will be hearing from us.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
This one's gonna go place on file.
So item G is the CPC application submitted for the Kennedy Park restroom project on South Main Street. This is for phase 1 of a two-phase restroom project at Kennedy Park, that Mr. Olivera wants to submit to the CPC board. The phase 1 is the exterior of the building, so if you look at the packet, towards the end, I think there's some, right, the first one is the bathrooms. I thought there was pictures in here.
There are.
It's probably the last page.
Yeah,
is
it's like G, at the end of G.
So there's that's the floor plan, but the second page of the exterior is what this initial ask is and what it's gonna look like. Basically, he needs a letter of support from the park board, but he's not here to answer any questions.
So I think so I also see on here that the applications must be submitted prior to December 2nd.
Yes.
Is there 2 separate, like, he gets a letter, or he submits a letter, and that's due by
No, the
November?
letter-
It's all
the letter
due by
goes in-
December
the
2nd,
letter
so
goes
if you
in
want to
with this.
table
The
till
December-
next month.
Yeah, so I just have concerns, so I feel like, not that I'm against any of this, I just feel like this is a massive project, and I don't want to, okay, so I know that there's one part that's 600,000, there's another part that is 2 million, so that is 2.6 in total.
It's 2 million total.
2 million total, okay. So I know that there are the sidewalks is one portion, and the bathrooms is another.
There's 2 separate
Two
requests.
separate applications.
So there's 2.
This is all we're talking about right now, is
the
that
bathroom.
dilapidated building
Yeah.
at Kennedy Park. And all this request is for is to redo the exterior of the building. So there's two pictures,
Mhm.
that show kind of how it is now. You can see the windows
Mhm.
that are on there, and I have my little star in there that says now, and then the plans are how they're going to renovate the exterior.
Mhm.
The,
Okay.
the cost
So
is.
phase 1 is 600,000.
Correct.
Phase 2 is
1.4.
1.4.
So,
Okay.
so phase one, I think, is just the
The exterior.
exterior, you're not even going inside,
even
so
going
it's the
inside.
correct house.
So my concern is, we spend $600,000 on the outside of a building, make it all pretty, and then what if phase two, we cannot get the 1.4? Then we just beautified the outside for the inside to continue to do what it's doing now.
Nothing.
That's my concern. Like, I don't wanna go, I think if we were gonna go to CPC for funding for something, this ain't it. Unless we can guarantee that we know we will get the full 2 million for the entire project, to make sure we don't do one and then have to wait 1 to 3 years to be able to get the second portion
Right.
done. So that's my concern with this, and I don't know how anyone else feels. I just think this is a lot of money, and
For a
that's
facade.
not guaranteed.
Hello, Victor.
It's, yeah, you're right, it's a lot of money, it's not, and you don't know how much, it depends on what they have at the CPC too. So, because there's so much money that's in there that they allowed.
And it depends on what requests they get and how
Exactly.
that
Well,
all plays out.
I think
So-
what this request is supposed to do, Victor, just so you know, is hit on two aspects. And I don't know, I don't know that it meets the recreation one. I
Right.
know it meets the historical
historical.
It's
one, but I
open
think,
space, recreation,
but I
and
think it's
historic.
That's what he's
supposed to
saying.
crisscross on
Gotcha.
both.
Oh,
So I
Right.
think that's what these two applications are,
Cause it has
set
to
to
check
take-
off the
try to
levels in
get
order
money for
qualify for
each-
CPC.
Yeah.
each
Okay.
one.
Right.
And I don't know how the CPC does that.
I feel like it's obviously historic
been a
preservation.
while.
And that's why it's so much money.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason. I would assume that you could probably start from scratch and build a similar type. It wouldn't look the same, it wouldn't look as nice and as historic, but I would think that if the goal was to put bathrooms there, you could probably do it for less money. The issue with that is it wouldn't qualify for any CPC funds
No.
because it wouldn't be
Well,
historic at
it
that
wouldn't
point.
qualify under historic, it would
Right.
still qualify under recreation and open
Having
space.
a restroom,
Yes.
okay.
And the only other thing that I can suggest is, a lot of times, if you contact, and Victor, you can correct me, if you contact the Historic Preservation in Massachusetts, and you tell them, we are going to build a similar facsimile to
To
what the
yeah.
historic, sometimes they give you kind of a waiver, correct?
Right.
Or,
Yeah, it can work on that one, yeah.
but I don't know what, and I thought Mr. Oliver was gonna be here. I don't know if they've contacted Mass Historic. I don't know. I really don't know anything about the application besides the fact that.
And
one
I
is-
don't either.
for
The first time I
walkways and
saw
one is
it was a couple weeks ago too.
Yeah.
Was, you know, when we did the when I created the agenda. But go ahead, Vic.
So is this the first?
This is the eligibility. He sent these applications in for the eligibility. I don't know if he went to the
He
meeting.
did not.
That's, he didn't go to the meeting yet?
No,
No, they had the meeting, but I don't think
He
Mr.
wa-
Oliver was
he
at the
wasn't
meeting
there
for the
'cause-
eligibility.
for the same conversation. So I went because I knew I was getting nominated for the CPC. So I watched the last meeting to try to figure out what was going on. And the last meeting, there were a handful of projects
Right,
that I think all of them were privately funded, but we're looking to the CPC for different, you know, components of it. Like, there was one that I remember off the top of my head, they're looking for windows. There was another one. So all that stuff is public. You can go look and see what they were. These two requests were also to have preliminary conversations, because it sounds like with CPC, you move through the stages. So
Yes.
it's like, if CPC board thinks that it qualifies for historic
It
preservation,
moves on.
they'll
the
move you
next
to the
step.
next round.
right, exactly.
They did not take an action on either one of these at the
So-
last meeting, because Mr. Oliveira couldn't make it. So I would assume that he would be probably at their next meeting in October, in a couple of weeks, to talk about these two items. But I agree with what you said, Amber. It's a lot of money. I would think that there would have to be some agreement with CPC that they would fund the rest of it if they're gonna fund.
They would-
A
yeah, they
portion
would
of
have
it?
to, he would have to, actually go through it, basically saying that you.
Resubmit next
resubmit
year.
Next year.
But I think at that point, you kinda need, at this point, their agreement that they're gonna
at
funds the
least
inside of it.
fund
If they're gonna
something,
fund the
right.
outside of
But
it.
if he goes
I
right
get what
now-
Amber's saying,
If he
it's
goes
like,
right now, Victor, they would only fund phase one with no
Yes.
guarantee.
And that's
They
all
would not
he's
give him
asking
any
for.
guarantee
Right,
that they
exactly.
would fund the rest of the
No,
phases,
right,
correct? Is that, I think that's
And
what.
do they ever say like,
Right.
all right, he's asking 600,000 for phase one?
It-
Do they ever come back and say,
Yeah.
we'll give you 350?
yep,
Yes,
And then you gotta come up with, is
Right.
that a thing?
yes. So you can, instead of giving you the whole, they can even do less, cause it goes by steps, now how many
Yeah.
projects
which is
you
why
have.
you checked off as many, cause the more you check off,
Right,
those get priority over,
Mhm.
you know, other ones.
Lord
Right.
Jesus.
I mean, the walkway one for 100,000, I think is
that would.
probably
Yeah, so-
very, I think probably very, has a very good chance of getting the 100,000, funding the entire project, and as Amber said, knowing the whole thing is gonna be done from start to finish with CPC money. I
Right.
think that you don't have an issue with. I don't know if there's a guarantee, or how is there a guarantee of anything? I mean, we thought we had ARPA money, good Lord, give it the Lord, take it away. I mean, I don't know how you have a guarantee for 2 point something million. And I mean, and while I think the bathroom is a great idea,
Even the six
that
hundred.
we have and it says in the thing, for the Holy Ghost feast and the farmer's market. Now, the farmer's market's
They're
there
not
on
even on
Saturday.
that side.
They are on that side, the farmer's market is there, they're there from probably July to November.
The farmer's market, they're
Yeah.
usually on the same side as my block party, cause we're setting up while they're there.
So,
They are
no,
on the
that's supposed
side
to be-
street. They're not-
Bradford Ave,
Yeah. Unless they change.
unless they went somewhere else, cause they're supposed to be on Bradford
Yeah,
Ave.
I feel like they are, but they're on this side of Bradford Ave, not that side. Hold
No,
on.
yeah, no, they're on your side,
Yeah.
Block Party side, they're
Yeah.
up at South Main and
Yeah.
Yes, South
So
Main.
you have to walk down a little
Bradford
bit to
Ave,
get
that,
to
the
bathroom.
conversation they're talking about is that one up top, not where my office is.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one down below.
No,
No.
no,
No.
one up top.
Oh,
Not
oh,
even-
that's even,
No,
that's where
the-
there's a
the-
lot of, sometimes homeless people staying.
gotcha.
The roof is
If
collapsing.
you go there,
it's-
yes,
I was gonna say, that's even.
It needs, something
I thought it
needs
was
to
the
be
one at
done
the
with
bottom.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, cause the other one, I didn't know that those were bathrooms up there, cause I know the ones.
they
Well,
haven't
then-
been bathrooms in 100 years, there's
Oh.
been, the roof is collapsing,
Mhm.
everything is,
Mhm.
it's a disaster, to be honest with you. It's a terrible eyesore, and if nothing else, should probably
That's a lot of money.
be removed in phase one. Phase
Well, what
one
I-
should
so
be-
what I- what
phase
I
one
wrestle
should be
with-
removal of whatever, but I know they wanna try to keep the facade,
Yeah.
but I don't know,
What
like
I
I said.
wrestle with is this board doesn't write checks for any projects.
No.
So
they can't get
I,
any money.
yeah, so I think like in where I'm at is, I agree, there should be something needs to be done with that building. If there's CPC money available to turn it into bathrooms, I'm not opposed to that. But if we had to prioritize this versus the walkways, I'd put the walkways ahead of this project. And I also have a lot of concerns of once the bathrooms are built,
What's the
how
plan?
they're secured, you know, what it's budgeted for, who's cleaning them, who's taking care of them, who's opening and closing them. I feel like there's a lot that goes
Yeah.
with this. But I also don't want to stand in the way of a project that, you know, could be considered for funding. So that's
Yeah.
my internal and where I go back and forth with it. I think the next item, if we want to just take them together, the walkway, item H is the CPC application submitted for Kennedy Park walkway restorations. I think that one's a little bit more straightforward. You build the sidewalks, they're brand new, they're gonna look nice. Let's make sure they match. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you know, when once they're done, they're done. There's a lot of, I think, questions on the bathrooms.
So because of the due date, I feel more comfortable saying we should table the bathrooms so that we can have a better, more in-depth conversation, even if it happens, well, I don't know if it can
November.
happen outside of this meeting, but like, even if we get the information that we need to make us feel comfortable with it, so table that, but then I do want to approve the walkways, because you're right, I think that the walkway should be pushed through, but, I just have
So-
too many questions.
So why don't we do that then? We'll, I'll take a motion to approve the Kennedy Park walkways, and we'll draw up a letter that I'll sign,
Mhm.
that will go as a part of, the CPC application for the walkways. and we'll table the restrooms, the Kennedy Park restrooms till the next meeting, till Mr. Oliver can come in and explain and answer, you know, some of the questions that you have that I'm sure, you know, probably Nick and Helen might have too. And then I do think the other kind of teachable learning moment from this is, I think we should also probably suggest to Mr. Olivera, before it gets to this point, get us involved. And, you know, maybe we can have some input on some of the projects that may qualify for CPC funding that we would like to see. I mean, I talked to you before the meeting, I think the Britland Park soccer fields need to be redone. I think that that should probably be a priority. That could be done with CPC money pretty easily. You have the footprint there already. Let's redo that turf that's, you know, 10 or 15 years old. Clean that place up a little bit. And maybe make it the premier, you know, facility moving forward, whatever. But I think that I think this board would like some input on the application
Yeah.
process before it's,
Especially if it's
hey,
something
we're
that
gonna
is
ask
going
her.
to end up under our umbrella, like, we should be able to see it from the beginning thought process to the end submittal of the application.
right, here's why we're doing what we're doing,
Yeah.
and here's what we're
And like I
doing.
said, I
So-
think it's a good idea, cause obviously if there are bathrooms there, I think that that'll alleviate a lot when it comes to having events there or,
Yeah, you
what
don't
have
need
you.
porta
Yeah.
potties and
Right.
stuff, cause you have a
so,
bathroom.
like I have to get a porta potty every year for when it comes to the block party, but it obviously would be one less thing that I have to worry about. So I do think it's a great idea, I just wanna make sure
But the
we're doing
question
it
is,
right.
would you have to pay to man those bathrooms? So those are questions that you have. If you wanted those facilities available for your event, do you rent them? Do you, does the city provide
Who's-
them for free?
Yeah,
Those are, again, like how
the
do we-
toilet paper, the napkins, the soap, all of
Right.
that stuff, I mean, it sounds small, but the park department budget is small, so
Yeah.
if you're gonna have to be, you know, relying on all that stuff, who's gonna clean them, who's gonna, all of that, who's gonna open and close them, when are they gonna be open and closed, like,
Right.
I think that there are a lot of questions and it's a lot of money. So,
Okay. I made that motion, do you second
Second
it?
it.
Okay.
all right, so just so I have it right, Nancy, we're gonna table the Kennedy Park restroom project till next month's
Okay.
meeting to ask Mr. Olivera to come and, just explain some of the things that we've brought up here. And I can maybe relay some of those concerns to him in the meantime, so that he knows where we're going with that. And then we will approve the Kennedy Park walkway restoration, so you and I can draw up a letter to give to Mr.
Okay.
Olivera to put in with his submission to get it to CPC.
Okay.
And then also, the last item here is item I. Mr. Olivera provided the scope of work for the proposed walkways at North Park, with the funding that Representative Fiola secured from the state to redo that. So, I don't know if you guys remember the backstory. Originally, this started as a project, to kind of renovate the hill and create
Yeah.
some
Steps.
more seating and some steps there. That was deemed not feasible. Then we had that little overlook that we talked about that seemed like we weren't stretching the dollar as far maybe as we could. And now it sounds like we'll be able to redo this whole walkway, you know, all the way across Snake Hill there. And then down through past the ice rink all the way. I mean, if we can do all of that, I think that'll look pretty good.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then I think that also opens up some opportunity with that old skate park there, cause you have the parking from the school, you'll have some nice walkways to get to it.
Ooh, a nice little, pickleball
Maybe some new
court.
pickleball
No
courts.
more pickleball.
Say, opposite side of the city, there's parking, I like it.
Oh, that was already my thought. so-
Look at
I
us.
wasn't gonna
Look
put
at
it
us.
on.
I'm staying out of it.
The only question I have, we'll be able to use that funding, cause I know that there was like the timing of things and
He's gotta
all-
get this out.
Yeah, I'm not
It's gotta
sure.
be spent within a certain amount of time.
Okay.
The clock is ticking. It's been a couple years. It's not, there was changeover on the board. There was changeover. It kind of landed on his desk recently
I-
within the last year. So,
Yeah. I believe he said to us when we met to put the agendas together that this was going to go out beginning of October.
yeah, he said that, and he sent an email the other day that said that it was pretty close to being ready to go out to bid. It goes on, he told us Combis, which is like I guess it's a website where all of the vendors can see the different, things that they can bid on projects, right?
Yeah, that's my understanding of combines, yes.
So he said
So
it'll be on
if it
there.
doesn't go in a regular bid, it'll go on combines. I'm not really sure which avenue he's gonna take.
Okay.
But the conversation that I believe we had was, he wanted it to go out at the beginning of October.
October,
The specifications were pretty much ready to go, and they were gonna go
And
to
with the
either.
hope it be
And
done sooner rather
It will
than
come
later.
back to us, correct?
Hope so.
Well, you can put that you would like the bids to come back to you.
Well, I mean, it's like, what if it comes in over, or like, there isn't a bid that's in the amount of money that, I just wanna make sure that, if anything, any funding needs to come from outside of what, we got from the state, I wanna make sure that we're not.
Well, I think
Well, I
that
think the
was,
bids are normally brought to you
and I
normally.
think that might be part why it's color coded,
Okay.
because I think it's prioritized. Item 1 would be Snake Hill.
Yep.
Item 2 would be that walkway from the Morton up to the basketball courts.
But-
Oh, 3,
I'm a
okay.
hun-
So I think that was the thought process, was like, all right, if we have enough money to do the whole thing, let's do the whole thing. If not,
We'll
this
do-
is the
gotcha.
Well, it
pecking
would all
order.
depend how they put that in the bid, if they put it that way.
Okay,
Because,
but I thought
Then
that's why
indi-
he did it this way though, right?
no, I think he did it that way to identify the different walkways.
Okay,
But if that's, and I could be wrong, but if you put out a bid like that, it has to have contingencies, like, okay, I don't know if you would call it, it's not an amendment, I can't remember what you call it, but it's something where this is an add-on, like number 5 would be an add-on, but you need to bid so that everyone knows they're bidding on the same thing. Now, whether they bid items 1 through 5 separately, and we
Got
go, well, we have enough money for items 1 through 4, we're not gonna do 5. I believe you can do that if every person is bidding and knows to bid that way. If people put in a total package,
For all of it.
you have to either put an add-on or a subtraction of, in the bid package. I know that because we had to do it with the lights.
got
Well,
it.
hopefully, like the second, it's like the scope of work, there are separate items, so hopefully it's
Yeah.
done like that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how he's gonna put it out.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve so we can get this thing rolling.
Second it?
So motion to approve was made by Commissioner Burns, seconded by Commissioner Farias. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So do you
So there's,
want
I think the approval there is just that we're updated and,
I
on
don't
what's
even
going
know that
on.
you would approve it, it's almost like you would accept the drawings
Yeah,
and the
that-
specifications, so I don't know that it would be approved. Yeah, I think that would be, you accept the drawings and
Well, yeah, I think we
specifications to
needed,
be put.
we needed to approve the project though, right? Cause I feel like before, the overlook before was.
Yeah, we had
like,
kinda
so I feel
already-
like we have to
Right.
approve.
But did we
the-
not do this? Did we approve
don't know.
this? I don't remember. It's been so long.
No, we didn't,
No,
we
we
were
did
waiting
not.
for it to come back. Like,
Okay,
he
so
had
yes.
told us that
Okay.
was what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Okay,
This is
so
the
you
first
can
time we've
approve,
seen
the
it.
board
So the
approves
board
this,
approves those
approves
things.
this
Right.
project for the use of Representative Fiola's money being used for this project. I guess that's what you're
Yeah.
saying, yeah.
Yeah, we
Perfect.
never approved it.
And we will wait to see what the bids are. Do you want the bid prices to come
Well,
back to
if
this
he has
board?
them for, how long do they have to be posted?
I'm not, I think what happens is they have so many days, they have a deadline, and we'll have a bid opening. This is a significant amount of money.
Right.
So I would think you have to have a bid opening, if it's a bid opening. I'm not 100% sure how combines work, because that's kind of a new thing. I don't know if combines, everybody submits their bid
Cause it's all
digitally, do
electronic,
they
yeah.
submit it to the purchasing department? I don't know, but I would think there has to be some type of a competitive bidding
Yeah.
process where each company submits a
So-
bid. It's just done digitally, probably, rather than a packet.
Is there any chance that the bids would be in by our next meeting next month?
Oh, I would say yes. If he's saying that if he's saying the bid package is going to go out, they have so many days, we'll say 10 days, 14 days to submit a bid. He has to put in the bid package, all bids must be submitted by whatever. And I think originally, it may have to change based on when he submitted it, but originally when he showed us that, it said October 10th.
Right, but it hasn't been gone out yet.
So I don't
that
think
date
it's gone
might
out
change.
yet, so that October 10th may become October 17th. I don't know.
Okay.
But
But-
then if that's the case, then I guess what I'll do is
Maybe you
ask
can
Mr.
ask
Oliver
him to
for
send
next
you.
month,
Or you
meeting.
could, or you may be able to have, let Mr., send whatever, an email to Mr. Olivera to let you know when those bids are out
Right.
and when the bid deadline
Mhm.
is, when the
Okay.
bid package goes out. I would imagine BJ could ask
Yeah, I can do
him
that.
to submit, to
That's
send
what I
him
was
a
getting at,
bid
is if he
packet.
can, let me know when the bid goes out, and then if the timeline
What the
works with our
bid
next
is.
meeting, then we
Come
can
back.
put it on the agenda for the next meeting as just an update to the project and where the bids stand, where they came in, and that'll be that.
Yes.
Okay. Any inquiries?
I have one, and I feel like I'm opening a can of worms.
Uh-oh.
I feel like anytime things like this are on the agenda, if
What is
like
this?
like applications to approve or
Yeah.
scopes of work for us to approve. If Mr. Olivera can't make it, is there someone like second in command that can come to, so that we don't hold things up? So I feel like this is the second time now we've had to hold something, and I don't like it. I would rather push everything through, but we wanna make sure that everything's answered. So if he can't make it, that's fine, people have lives, but like, if there's another person who's like working on this stuff with him, or like his second
Sure.
man,
I don't know.
I don't know. I can ask him if you guys want me to, but I just think it would be easier just to not waste anyone's time and just like push these things along.
Mhm.
I agree.
I don't know.
No, I think,
That was all.
I don't know who else would know the information. I mean, we got in the agenda the information for the first time when we put this agenda together.
yeah, we
really.
put the agendas together last week, and myself, Mr. Olivera, and Ms. Smith were all together, putting the agenda together. And I
thought
don't
he was
wanna,
coming.
I just assumed he was coming, because
Mhm.
we kinda had similar
Mhm.
conversations about these things.
Mhm.
But maybe I'll make sure to let him know that, if we have stuff like this, we
Yeah.
kinda need him or somebody to be able to answer questions.
Mhm.
Um,
That was it.
anything? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to
noted.
adjourn.
Second it.
Motion to adjourn made by Commissioner Burns, second by Commissioner Farias. All in favor?
Aye.